The first thing you have to do is you can get the fresh shrimp, and you can either use the tails or cut off the tails and use turmeric powder as a marinade. Now, a lot of people in Malaysia use turmeric root also. You can grate it and take the juice and add it to the shrimp. And as it is sitting, you now make the soul of the sambal, which is the spice base. And the spice base generally has the shallots, well, you can use onions, and then garlic, ginger. I'm going to start putting them in. Traditionally, we use the mortar and pestle to do it. So you put the onions, put the garlic, ginger. I use a lot of ginger, and not to be afraid, because a lot of the local Malays use galangal, which is a little bit more pungent, but it's from the same family as the ginger, so you could use ginger. Lemongrass, everyone knows what's lemongrass. I have lemongrass here, and it's a very popular flavoring in Malaysian cuisine, especially with the Nonyas and Malays, and put it into the blender. Then comes the dried chilies, which are the basis for the spice base. So depending on your heat level, what taste, heat that you desire, you can add little or more. So what you do is you take the dried chilies, you soak it in hot water for about 5 to 8 minutes, and then you slit it, de-seed it, and so you're only getting the flesh part, which gives you the flavor and a little bit of the heat. So you add the chilies in. If you don't get dried chilies here and you're afraid to work with dried chilies, you can buy commercially available chili boards called. But you can also use this, which is a sambal oleg. So don't be afraid to substitute some of the ingredients that are not available at the supermarket. Okay, so a lot of these are available at regular supermarkets. Now you add the fresh chilies. The fresh chilies are a little bit milder because you want to get the red color as well as the flavor and not the heat, because the heat you get from the dried chilies. Now we come to my favorite, the belacan. So they call it shrimp paste. It's a dried fermented shrimp paste, but actually it's not shrimp, it's krill, which is a small dried shrimp-like looking crustacean that is found a lot of the coastal waters in Malaysia and is used abundantly by the Malays and the Nonyas as a flavoring. You start, you pound it, as the Malaysians traditionally do, into a coarse paste. Or, as I said, you can put in the food processor or the blender. And a coarse paste is better than a smoother because of the looks and texture. Now, so that's the spice paste. This is how it looks, okay? This is how the spice paste comes out of the mortar and pestle, or the food processor, or the blender. But we do add some water to it. It's called stir-frying the spice paste with other ingredients called tumising. In Malaysian, tumising means it's a slow stir-frying process. You add a little bit of oil. I'm going to add 3 spices here, which is fennel. I coarsely pounded the fennel, and I love these spices because cinnamon and also star anise. I mean, this is one of my favorite spices, and most Malaysians love it, and they use it in their curries. So you stir it for about 2-3 minutes until you get the flavor from the spices. After that, you would add the spice paste. I'm just adding a little bit just to show. Then you add tomato puree, tamarind, sugar. Sugar is always added also to sambal to kind of balance the heat. Salt. So once this is done, the sauce is done, this is a sambal sauce. And I'm going to add shrimp. Now you can add boiled eggs, you slice it in half, eggs, you can add tofu, grilled tofu or regular tofu. You can add chicken, you can add fish fillets. It goes beautifully with anything, This is how the finished tumis sauce looks like. It's really fragrant. So this marinated shrimp, you're just adding it. You see how easy it is? It's very quick. You can do this recipe in about half an hour with everything. I mean, 20 minutes you can get this recipe going, you know. So after you cook it, you can dish it out and have cilantro, or you can use kaffir lime leaves, which a lot of the Malays and Thais in the northern Malaysia use. You can slice it and use it as a topping too. This is how the finished product looks like. It's wonderful.
Thank you again,
Thank you
Susheela.
again. Thank you, Laura.